All right, according to the first class, I can't start a YouTube video without saying, smash the like button, make sure you subscribe. That's what they told me to do, so I'm doing it. It's the second video I've said that. So again, seriously, if this video can get 300 likes, I'll eat a bug in class tomorrow. Right. So, let's knock this out. Okay? Let's knock this out. Okay, I know how to be a silly YouTuber, but let's get this stuff done because it is real serious stuff because there's our first major tomorrow. I'm going to do like I've done in every other class. Tell me the important words that you see in the question. Which is the best evidence of quality of soil composition in a forest environment? What are some important words that you see in that, Addie? Best, meaning there's probably more than one good answer. I hate those because they always try to trick me. What are some other important words that you see in there, Anthony?
Environment.
Environment. What are some other words that you see in there? Olivia? Quality of soil. We did an experiment with quality of soil in our class, didn't we? We put them in the window. Bad soil, good soil. Nothing's grown out of the bad soil yet, except for the one weird plant we sent to Miss Bullens, and all the good soil is like growing up and getting higher and higher every day. Now, what is the best evidence of the quality of soil composition in a forest? Decomposers have few dead organisms to eat. Well, if there's not a lot of dead stuff laying around, is that a good thing?
No.
If there's not a lot, that's a good thing, but does that tell me about the quality of soil?
No.
Not really. I don't like that one. I don't think that's a good answer. It really doesn't answer what I'm asking. It seems to make sense a little bit. Consumers are able to eat a variety of soil organisms.
No.
So there's like worms and mushrooms and stuff growing out of the soil. Maybe? I don't know. If there's bad soil, there's nothing living in the soil, right? That's not an awful answer. I don't think that's the right answer. It's decent, but there's got to be a better one because it did say up here best. Producers are able to easily, that's going to be awesome on a YouTube video. Producers are able to easily remove nutrients from the soil. All right, well, I got to ask you this quick question. Tell me, what is the role, what is the niche of a decomposer? What are they supposed to do? Cambry.
Break down dead materials into rich soil or nutrients.
All right, so if there's decomposition going down and they're doing good soil, are producers able to easily remove the nutrients from the soil?
No.
Yes. Our good soil. Look at the plants in the window. Were the plants able to remove the nutrients in the good soil? Yes. Did they have a hard time in the bad soil? There's not many of nothing grew like the big one. So this is, if I had to compare this other answer and this one right now is really fitting this. So we'll find out. Scavengers have access to soil nutrients created by decaying organisms.
No.
That's not what scavengers eat. That would be decomposers. So the best answer is
C.
All right. So we spent about 3 minutes. That's because we took time to pause and talk and think about things. In your head, you're looking at about 1.5 to 2 minutes of rationalizing, highlighting, annotating, and finally coming to the answer that you know is the correct answer. It's going to take a little bit of time on the test. You can't just rush through this. All right, 22. Well, I'm talking about organisms benefiting each other the most. There should be a vocabulary word coming to mind when both organisms are benefiting. Jason?
It's either mutualism.
It is mutualism. Because both organisms are benefiting. That's a type of symbiosis. Now, a bird building a nest in a bush. Are they both benefiting?
No.
Okay, somebody tell me what type of relationship that is then. Olivia. Only one benefits. Commensalism. Worms eating the root of a plant. I only feel like one of those is really getting the benefit out of that. But I don't know if the worm is living in or on. It's not really a parasite, is it?
No.
But it's not really doing anything good for the plant, right? It's not good for the plant. So they're not both benefiting. Squirrels burying seeds from a tree. Does that help the squirrel?
Yes.
Does that help the tree?
Yes.
Because the squirrel doesn't remember them all, right? And then what happens? A new tree grows. This is both a benefit. Now I'm going to give this next one to Chaz, not Chase. Chaz, because I feel like he would enjoy deer scraping their antlers on a tree. Now, why do deer do that, Chaz? Rub the velvet off and they're marking territory sometimes, right? Hey, this is my area, right? All the girls around here are mine. Y'all stay away from here because I've got big antlers and I will run you off. It's kind of what they're saying, right? So this only helps the deer, right? Which one of these three is mutualistic? A, B, C, or D? Class? C. C is mutualistic. And that's because we took the time to interact and figure out what the question wanted, and we were able to do that because we are smart. All right. A rabbit eats a variety of plants. Number one, tell me what that rabbit is. I'm not even looking at the rest of the question. What is the rabbit, Stacy? All right, I'm going to go ahead and put that the rabbit is an herbivore up here. I may not need that, but I'm just kind of doing some extra review here with you guys. A rabbit is an herbivore. What best describes the effect a drought? Gee, I wonder why Mr. Bullens covered drought in class before. What is drought? What does that mean? Because not this many hands were up the first time we covered that. Capri. What happened in a drought? What? Dry. It's like no rain, right? All right. A rabbit is an herbivore. He eats plants. What best describes what a drought would do to the rabbits and the plants? Do you think that the plant populations would increase and the rabbit populations would increase? Raising your hand. What do you think about that, Hunter? No, that does not make sense. Do you think that the plant population would go down? Raise your hand and tell me why. Kinsley, why would the plant population go down in a drought? Okay, if the plant population goes down and rabbits eat plants, would the rabbit population go down? And they don't have any water. They can't eat or drink. That's really bad for a consumer, right? I really like this answer. This next one would have to just be like the king of all answers, the best that one, right? Because that sounds really good. Plant life would go down, but the rabbit population would increase. That was a terrible underlining. I'm doing my fingers. That doesn't make sense, right? If I take away your food, I don't think there would be as many children here after a while. It would start to decrease. Because many of them will leave. They would leave or die. Your best answer is B. All right, good job. One more. Which consumer? What is a consumer? Quick definition of a consumer. Edgardo. Okay, that eats what? It eats plants. Or it eats what, Callie? Or it eats what, Lucas?
Plants and meat.
Or both. Which animal that eats plants, meat, or both in a grassland would be considered, and here's one of those things where it's asking you to know the definitions of predator and prey, but it's not specifically asking you that within the question. It's assuming in the question you know that. So I'm going to ask you this. What is a predator? A predator. Predator. Jaden. Hunts for food. What is prey? Lydia. Is hunted as food, right? All right. So, what consumer? Something that eats plants or animals or both in a grassland would be predator and prey. It would be hunted and a hunter. Do you think a grasshopper is predator and prey because it eats the grass and is eaten by birds? Does the grasshopper go out hunting for the grass?
No. Literally everywhere.
If you can't hunt and catch grass, I don't think you deserve to be living in. You're living in a grassland. which is mostly grass. If you can't find grass in a grassland to eat, you don't deserve to live. So, Mr. Grasshopper, you are not a predator. I'm very sorry, sir. A rabbit. Because it eats snakes.
No.
And it is eaten by a deer. Boys and girls, I'm letting you know right now, if I ever go somewhere and I see a rabbit eat a snake, then I see a deer come up and eat that rabbit, I am leaving. That is not a safe area. So, remember, I told you in many questions they put a very silly, nonsensical answer, right? No one should answer B because that one is so ridiculous that we can laugh at it and move on. Now, a snake, because it eats mice, is that true?
Yes.
It's eaten by a hawk.
Yes.
Raise your hand. You can't see this on the video. Raise your hand if you've seen that food chain in this classroom before. Grass to mice to snake to hawk. Wow, everyone in here and everyone in every other class has seen that. Raise your hand if you think that's a coincidence. One person thinks it's a coincidence that they saw that. The rest of you should know that Mr. Bullens knew that would be on there, and he tries to help you as much as possible. I like that answer a lot. Probably the answer, but always check the ones because you always know the best answer. An earthworm, because it eats dead animals. And it's eaten by birds. True and true. But does the earthworm have to hunt the dead things?
No, it does not.
No, it does not. So
The dead thing does not move.
the best answer to that is C.